Touchdown, Florida State. Hey, Seminole fans, it's time for another edition of the Osceola Podcast.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Osceola Podcast. My name is Pat Burnham. I'm a writer for the Osceola and the host for today's show. We are very excited to be joined by longtime former college football coaches Wally Burnham and Kenny Pope to talk about FSU offensive coordinator Kendall Briles and his offensive system. Coach Burnham was a defensive coordinator at Iowa State from 2009 through 2015 and faced the Briles and Baylor offense 4 times over that time period. In addition to his time at Iowa State, Coach Burnham also made stops at USF, South Carolina, and was FSU's linebacker coach from 1985 through 1993. Coach Pope was also at Iowa State from 2009 through 2013, but was most recently at Houston, where he spent last year working as a running backs coach alongside Kendall Briles and new FSU offensive line coach Randy Clements. Coach Pope also spent time as assistant coach at Texas A&M, Alabama, and Oklahoma, among other programs. Thanks to both of you for joining us today. Welcome, Coach Burnham.
Thank you. Glad to be on.
Welcome, Coach Pope.
Thank you for inviting me on the show. I think I'm enjoying today, and I hope we can give you some information that will help your viewers.
Well, we appreciate you guys being here and certainly have enjoyed talking to you over the summer. I had the chance to speak with both of you individually over the summer about the Briles offense, and you both stressed the same 4 key principles of his system: tempo, spacing and alignment of his wide receivers, the running game, and getting the ball into the hands of the offense's most dangerous playmakers. I would like to start with tempo. Coach Pope, can you give us some insight about why the Briles system places so much emphasis on running at a fast pace and how that benefits the offense?
Okay, first of all, tempo is about making first downs. That's one of the things you have to be able to do in order to have tempo. And one thing you'll see as you start watching Florida State go, you'll start seeing once they get a first down, you'll see that high tempo start working, and you can see it right before your eyes as it works. First of all, tempo will force you to declare what their defense intentions are. And what you're trying to do, you want to be able to make the defense defend the entire field vertically and horizontally. Okay. The other thing that happens in tempo, it gives the offensive line an advantage. And what I mean by that, if they're going against a dominant defensive front, now what happens is with tempo, the defense has to line up quickly and get set. And if those guys are not getting set quickly, it gives the offensive line an added advantage where they can come off the ball and get some movement up front. So therefore, it's a big plus for an offensive line that may not be quite as good as the defensive line. So this allows these guys to gain an advantage from an offensive line standpoint. And that's one of the other reasons why you would do that. The third reason would be because, and Wally would be able to chime in on this as well, is the fact that it keeps the third down personnel off the field. So whether you got nickel or dime that you want to put on the field, this allows the offense to be able to work with the same defenders on the field, so you can't get a speed guy on the field. So that's the reason why, tempo is such a big plus. And it wears over a period of time, it wears down the defense, so you can gain a big advantage by doing that. And that's the biggest thing about having tempo.
Okay. Coach Burnham, can you tell us a little bit about the challenges this particular high-tempo offense creates for opposing defenses?
Yes. One of the first things you got to think about is alignment. Defensive coaches are always preaching, you get the alignment you need and you got a chance to be successful. Well, when your defensive line, like Kenny said, is trying to get lined up, they're running down the field sometimes 30 yards after a big play, or after a first down, you try to teach them, during practice, hey, after the first down, you got to get ready to go because they're going to go fast and we're not going to be able to substitute. So alignment is one thing that it causes confusion on. It causes confusion on the success of the play, being able to do your job, and the third thing is it puts pressure mentally on the kids and the play caller. And so there's a lot of advantages there. And then you get into the fatigue, you get into not being able to go at full speed on a long drive. And that's when they like to do it. When we played them, and it was at Florida State, and they get you on your heels, and they're going to go and try to go as fast as they can. So it's a problem for the coaches, and it's a problem for the players. You got to get good information from the press box defensively as quickly as you can. You got to have a couple, maybe 3 guys watching receivers, who comes off the sideline, who doesn't come off the sideline, as far as substitution. And there's just a multitude of things that you have to overcome defensively.
Let me ask one thing, Pat. And,
yes, sir, Coach Pope.
And when you watch, every team will say we run tempo, but you're going to find at Florida State, and you'll be able to ask their players too, their tempo is going to be a lot faster than you really anticipate, because Coach Briles do a lot of things. You got to add a lot of components when you're going. It's not just using a word, say hurry. That's not how you get to fast tempo, by just using a word. It's got to be a lot of people involved, and those players that's on the field have to know what to do with the football to create that fast tempo. And and then you got to plug in. You're gonna plug in some other people, just more than just the players, and you got to let the officials know how you're gonna play as well. So there's some other people involved. It's a third step in that too. I won't get into it, but because that's the Brown system, and they do a great job of getting that initiated as a fast. That's the fastest I've ever been around since I've been coaching college football.
Okay. And Coach Burnham, would you agree with Coach Pope as far as the difference in the Briles offensive tempo versus other people that consider themselves to be high tempo?
Yeah, I do. I think they're out in the forefront of this fast tempo. There were 2 or 3 other teams in the league that tried to do this, and the other team that tried to do it was Oklahoma, and they were pretty proficient also. But I think Coach Briles and Kendall and Randy and all those guys out there at Baylor did a tremendous job, because at one time, they got RG3, and that kind of set them apart. And I think that's where they began to realize, hey, this is something special. And so I think they kind of out in the forefront of this thing.
Well, I was going to say something else about tempo, because they going fast, and you say, well, they should have still have an opportunity to substitute somebody in once they slow it down. But when they slow it down, it don't have to be slowed down. If you try to substitute in, they still have the ability to get a play call. So in essence, what I'm saying, it is always fast tempo to a point where you say, oh, I'm getting ready to substitute a guy in. Once they see that substitute happen, you might be in trouble getting your guy off the field. That's all I'm getting at. So in my ways, it's always fast tempo, regardless if they're going fast or not, because they still can neutralize your substitution situation.
Okay.
Yeah, and another thing, it had to be on our near hash when we played Baylor, and we had to make sure that we, had 17 and a half yards to run out to the hash, as opposed to running all the way across the field to the other hash toward the middle of the field. So again, that's that stress that's put on the players and the coaches.
We hope you've enjoyed the first segment of this podcast. To hear the entire episode, as well as past and future podcasts and daily coverage of Seminole sports, please subscribe to the Osceola at theosceola.com. Sign up today and enjoy a free 1-week trial subscription. Try us. You can rely on us.